Hello and welcome to tonight's Facebook Live. Sorry I'm running a little bit late. And tonight we are talking dreams. Dreams are a really big subject to talk about, so I'm just going to go as a general overview about what dreams are all about. And you can, if you've missed the beginning of this live, you can always pop on and watch the replay later on. So why do we dream? We all have dreams every night, whether you remember them or you don't. I know many people say, look, I don't dream. I used to dream, but I don't dream anymore. We all dream. We have to dream. It's part of our life. And essentially, if we don't dream, we die. Because dreaming is a safe way for us to process what's happened over the last day or two. It's a safe space for us to explore ideas, options, for our fears, our desires, all to play out within the safety of our mind, of safety of our thoughts. So that's why we dream, basically. We need to process all that we have experienced, all that we are thinking about, all of our actions. And we don't always remember our dreams. We remember most likely the dreams that we have had just before we wake. And the freshest that they are in your mind is as soon as you wake up, and within minutes after waking up, it's quite easy that you've forgotten most of that dream, or even more of that dream that was fresh in your mind upon waking. So it's good to have a dream journal, or just a journal that you keep by your bed, and you write down in that dream journal all that you can remember from that dream. Now, you don't have to write it out as like a story. You just jot down what you remember. So you can say you write down names, places, scenes. So say this could be an example of what you're writing down. You can write down house, whether it be the inside of a house, the outside of a house, what rooms you saw or were in, or whether you're on the outside, whether there were people inside that you knew or that you didn't know, whether what was happening. Was there water rushing through the house? Were you having conversations, holding a dinner party? Write down whether your dream was in black and white or colour, and any colours that stood out. And even write down the emotions that you felt, not only within that dream, but the emotions that you felt upon waking, upon remembering that dream, because they are really good indicators of that dream. And sometimes it's not so much even about what happened in that dream, but it's about how you feel about that dream. Because sometimes you might have something, say, a little bit negative play out, but if you're feeling good about that dream, then that means that you're going to overcome that, or you're going to be confident in what you do. So just be really mindful and write down all the things that you remember. And over a period of time, you'll begin to see some common threads and a common storyline play out, or even just some common emotions or issues coming up that perhaps that you weren't aware of that were playing on your mind. Because, it's quite often that things play on our subconscious that on a conscious level we think are no big deal, but subconsciously they're affecting us in ways that we didn't understand or didn't know. So I'm just reading, going through briefly my dream profiling e-course, just to have a little look at what. So give us some pointers. Now, repetitive dreams. Repetitive dreams are important to remember, because they're things that we haven't processed completely, we haven't taken action upon that dream, we haven't made the changes in our life that we need to change. And we're getting that dream repetitively as a prompt to say, things can't stay the same. Something has to give, something has to change. Now, that dream may or may not be exactly the same each time, but it may be a very similar dream telling you the same thing. You may be dreaming it in a different way because you're not getting it that way. So if we create that dream in another way, Maybe this time you'll get the hint. Maybe this time you'll get the understanding of what that means. Now, nightmares. It is most likely a nightmare is your fears playing out. So you need to look at what you can do in regards to those fears. Are those fears justifiable, or are they those fears you need to lay to rest? So really, again, that dream journal is a really important, it's really important to keep that dream journal so you can understand and wonder what it is that you're dreaming about. Children's nightmares are a little different to adults. Children often dream, it's their way of playing out that mental conflict that they're having. Fear that's too painful to face in waking hours, and that's the same for adults as well. But nightmares can also be a warning about current behaviours or imbalances or patterns that are happening in your life, and basically saying, again, you need to correct them. And it's like a warning signal that if you can correct it now, you're going to prevent things from getting worse. So children's nightmares, they often help them process things that they can't say to their parents or don't understand about their parents as well. They're common for children under the age of 4, and being chased by a witch or a monster or something like that, or a dragon in the bedroom is quite common, because that's the thing that's what they connect with. That's what's in their story, in their storybooks or in their TV shows, and that's what they have perceived as being the danger. And when you're actually chased in a dream, what the chasing actually is you look at what is it that you're running away from. What is it that you don't want to face? What are your fears? And sometimes that chasing is you're running away from yourself. What is it that you don't want to acknowledge about yourself even? So and you know what? Dreams are, when you interpret your dreams, they are nothing like the actual visual dream. They'll mean something completely different. And while a dream, you've woken up and you're in a sweat perhaps from your dream and you're really scared and you think, God, I really hope this doesn't happen. You sit down and you break down what that dream means and you go, oh, okay, I get it now. It's actually nothing to do with what that scene is that you're seeing. So the dream is a barrier between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. So that barrier in children, that barrier is thinner than in adults, because they don't have as much stuff to weigh them down like we do as adults. And because they haven't had as many of experiences as we have had. Let's see what else we're going to talk about tonight. Daydreams versus nighttime dreams. The most common daydream is all about wish fulfillment, whereas dreaming in the evening is more about processing how you feel about things, even good things that have happened in your day or the last few days. We still need to process that and find how we feel about things and how things sit with us. So how you interpret your dream is pretty much you pick out those pieces individually. Everything is symbolic because we dream in symbols. So everything is symbolic. So Brian has said, trains, water, swimming, lines on trains broken, fear in dream, colours from water. So colours are another thing. You write down the colours, and see what everything means. Now, water is generally about, in general, it's about emotion. Water and emotions go hand in hand. So if you see perhaps lots of flooding water or something like that, it could mean that you feel like you're drowning in emotions. So again, it comes back to putting the pieces of that puzzle together. What is happening with that? We're using water as an example. So what is happening with that water? is it if it's in a great amount and maybe it's uncontrolled, whether it be an ocean, a sea, a broken tap, a broken pipe, even just pouring a bottle of water, anything. When the water is in a great amount, it's generally about an outpouring of emotion and over a great amount of emotion. And how that comes to an end in that dream is about whether you get control over your emotions or they're just running wild. So even if it's something like a flood and in the end the dream ends well, like everybody's saved, everybody is okay, the broken pipe gets fixed, you know things are going to work out. But it's also a little bit of a warning to say, hang on, I need to get some sort of control over my emotions. Nothing is going to work itself out unless we take the action for it to get to work itself out. Swimming, again, if we look about the swimming in the water, it's about are you going against the tide? So are you going against your emotions, as an example? Swimming could be, are you a strong swimmer? Are you struggling in that water? So again, are you managing your emotions, or are you getting the emotions overpower you? Even look at the different stroke that you're doing. Everything in that dream that you can remember is all about helping you understand that dream. So you can't look at that dream as one big thing. You break everything down and you look at what these things mean to you. So when you say that word water, what does that mean to you? See, maybe it doesn't even mean anything like that to you. Maybe water means to you, oh, it's very nourishing, it's hydrating. So maybe that's a sign that, hey, you know what, I haven't really been drinking as much water as I should be lately. And maybe that's a sign for you that I need to drink more water. Your body is telling you. That's your body's way of saying, I need more water. So really don't get too stuck with, oh, I really don't know what this means. What does it mean to you? And then try and put it in context with that, with the dream that you're having. Brian says he's fighting it. So whatever is coming up for you right now, Brian, is your emotions. Whatever is coming up, don't fight it. Go with it. Acknowledge them and accept them. And then you can move on from that. Because when emotions come up in dreams, which most often they do, they're basically saying to you, I can't get your attention in the daytime, and in the nighttime we're far more receptive because our conscious mind has closed down. And that's generally where we're fighting. It's our conscious mind versus our subconscious mind. So our emotions need to put their hand up and say, look, I am here. I want your attention. So acknowledge what it is that you're feeling. Don't be embarrassed by that emotion. Don't feel shame by that emotion. Accept it. It is part of you. All emotions, whether you consider them to be good or whether you consider them to be bad, they are still part of you. And once you accept them as part of you, you will find that it's so much easier to work with them and let them go. They're not that big evil monster that you've made them out to be. And you'll find that your dreams will change. They'll start to soften, and you'll start making progress forward. What about dreams of being a victim? So that's another big thing. So if you're a dream of a victim in a dream, how is it that you feel in your waking life? Do you feel that you're dominated by someone, maybe a boss or even a partner, another parent, anybody? How do you feel in your waking life? Do you feel that your personal power has been taken away, or even that you've given it away to somebody else? Where do you feel like you're not able to make your own choices, your decisions, that you're not allowed to be you? So all about that victim energy, about avoiding responsibilities, being used by others. Acceptance comes with a price. it's the balance of power has been abused between the masculine and the feminine. And when I say the masculine and feminine, it's not necessarily like the male and female, it's the masculine and feminine energy within us, which means the balance of power within us is out of alignment. So you need to bring that balance back. And it's a great need to find acceptance both within yourself and your situation. And perhaps there's a need to communicate on a deeper level with someone. So I've already, even though I've got my notes here, I've already gone off track and I've started talking about things that I wasn't going to talk about. Numbers, when numbers show up in your dreams, take notice of them. I'll just run quickly through what some of the numbers are. So, of course, number 2 is duality, which means there's two sides of everything. It can be communication in a relationship, a partnership, finding balance, indecision, choices. 24 in a dream is night and day, which again can mean opposites, polarities. Number 6 in a dream are balance and approaching your goals. And number 5 is all about the human body, like 5 toes, 5 fingers, perhaps even an impoverished mental or physical state. If we look at colours, let's say blue, it's soothing, it's spiritual insight, wisdom, sadness. It also suggests that you need to listen carefully to the words of the dream, because we do choose all our words very carefully and very specifically. It's not just by random that we say things in our dream, that we hear things in our dream, and that what we choose to remember from our dream is very specific and very important. Brian says, thanks, that's no problem at all. It's just lucky that I happened to catch your questions while I was talking. Hello to everyone anyway on this live that have said hello, and those watching from afar. Shapes are very important in a dream. A square can mean down to earth and practical matters. A triangle can mean the nuclear family of a mother, father, child, body, mind and soul. Any mention of the zodiacs within a dream is important. Now the buildings are really important as well. It's the type of building. It's the location of the building. So if that building is somewhere in your country or close to where you are even, that can mean that matters that are close to you. And if we're looking at something that's overseas, or if another country comes up that in your dream, it could mean that you either maybe need to look further afield to broaden your horizons. It could mean that you need to expand. It could mean that you're looking, maybe even is the grass greener on the other side? Everything has a context, and the meaning is appropriate for the dream that you're having. There's lots of different meanings for the different symbols, but once you start doing your own dream interpretation, you'll find that you understand what the symbols mean, and you'll be able to put these things together as more of a storyline. If you're falling in a dream, it could be that you're feeling insecure in a situation, or even within yourself, within a relationship or at work. Things are a little bit out of control. So when you fall, you need to look at, well, how did you land? Was it a soft landing, a hard landing? Did you even fall, like land at all in the dream? Were you caught? Were you injured? All those things make a difference to interpreting your dream. What else do we have here? And of course, death doesn't necessarily mean dying. Death is about, it could be the death of a bad habit. It could be the death of, or an ending of a relationship, perhaps of work. It could be the death of even an aspect of you, which which you've been wanting to lose for some time. It's also about your feelings. Maybe you weren't sure, but you're in a marriage and you're not, or a partnership, and you really are unsure of how you feel anymore. Are you just hanging in there because you feel that you should? Maybe that death means that those feelings are no longer there. There isn't enough spark to keep that going. And there is your clarity. You have your answer, because you can't emotionally attach in the waking life. What else do we have here? Also, if we look at moods and the emotions within the dream as well, and how, were there any raised voices in your dream? Were the people softly spoken? Even the ambience of the dream. We look at weather as well. To dream of warm weather may represent receptiveness, normality, easiness. Conditions are safe. Every little aspect is something important. Nothing is unimportant in a dream. Even the clothing that you're wearing in a dream. So, example, dirty clothing or torn clothing may feel that your reputation has been damaged or stained. So this is how you can see that what you dream is nothing to do with your waking life. Everything is about the symbols. So I'm going to wind it up there. I know it's only a very small portion of what dreams are about, but I hope that you have enjoyed tonight's live. I know I was running a little bit late, but if you're wanting to know more about dreams, as I said, I have it's an e-course, online dream profiling. It's only $20 Australian. If you're interested, I can just send that off to you. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next Monday for our next Facebook Live. Until then, have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.